order the City Council regular session, June the 3rd, 2019, at 6 p.m. at the City Municipal Building. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Janet, roll call, please.
Alderpersons Goodhue.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Klum.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Wade.
Here.
Mayor Panaleo.
Here.
Police Commander Schley.
Here.
Street Superintendent Barry.
Here.
Approval or correction of minutes for the meetings held on May the 20th, 2019, regular session. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes for the meeting held on May 20th, 2019, regular session.
I'll second it.
Okay, and Janet, roll call, please. Vote, please.
Wade.
Yes.
Goodhue.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Klum.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Report of standing committees, Finance Committee.
Petition and communication.
Tried to pass something over, can't be doing that. Okay, petitions and communications, citizen comments, discussion on any topic brought before the council during petitions and communications. Do we have anyone? Go ahead.
My name is John Hunt. I live at 208 South Watts, Adams, Wisconsin, on the southeastern corner. My comment was, we can go back to 1987 when I moved into the place, and we've been through it all over on our side of the streets. The first thing was the vacating of our alleyway between the Manthey property and mine, which was approved by an engineer and a former employee, and we got that passed. Second problem was the destruction of the water tower, and then we started at a TIF 1 for the reconstruction. During that process, I've got a dead oak sitting in the back of my yard that was, it had been mentioned, spitting a handshake, between engineers and the former employee, that tree would be removed. It was tagged, still sitting dead because of the vacated alley. We have no resolution on it. I can't afford it, and the current persons can't afford to take the tree down. All I'm asking is for consideration, just to drop the tree down below the power line, because there's a power line between there. Just drop it down below, leave the wood there, leave it there. I'm going to donate the wood to a person that I know that needs the wood for heating. And, all the other gobbledygook.
Is it,
It was all verbal,
is it grown through the
No.
wiring?
No, it's above the power line. It's been dead for 5 years now. Since when they dug up for the curb stops and everything, the only one that was former current owner, God rest his soul, Glenn Manthey, only knew. There was only 2 people who knew where the original curb stops was because of the old water tower. And when they dug down, they piled the sand up around this oak tree, because they vacated the alley because of an engineer came out because of the angle of Grove Street and our lots and everything else like that. They considered if an alley went through there, it would be a hazard because people coming off of Werner Street on the curb, and it could be a hazard. So that's why we vacated it back in 87 or 88. So, okay. Yeah, so we vacated it. So we each ended up with 10 foot of alleyway, which I've been paying taxes on. But it was the curb stop. Nobody knew where the curb stop was beside Glenn Manthey and Mark. Because it doubled back and went out to Grove Street and came back. It's like a snake trap down there. And when they dug down, they piled this big pile of sand up there until, the final phase of TIF 1 on the east side, before they started the west side, killed the oak tree. It was discussed with the project engineer, whatever it was, the tree should be removed. They started on the west side, and it's been sitting there ever since. And it's sitting so close. It's gonna take out either one house or the other. All I'm asking is consideration, just top the tree down. We have a bucket truck, we have a forester. Top the tree down below the power line, leave the wood there. I have people that'll take the wood. Thank you. That's what I have to say.
Did anyone have any questions? Okay. Very good. Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the report for the standing committees, Finance Committee then. Did you have anything then, Dawn, because you covered for?
The only thing that I had is we did, I gotta find it here. We just went over some of the projects that were being completed, and we were doing pay request, and then we had some issues with the server, and we were talking about the server here in the office, getting that upgraded, and that was about the extent of it.
And Personnel Committee, pretty much nothing on that one. And then Public Works, Scott? Highlights?
Want me to read the whole thing?
No, you don't have to.
Complaint was made about parking and driving on city roads with a semi. A conflict at Morris Park was being reserved in the Little League for the same times was mentioned. And a soccer team is looking for a place to practice. The hose tower is to be taken away by Fenners and hauling brush out to Fenners.
Okay. So move on to the report of city officers. So I get to go first. I just want to mention a few things. There is going to be some changes within the city, as if you remember last year in August that the city did open up for ATV, UTV usage. And at this point right now, we're happy to say that some signage did arrive here at City Hall today, and we will be putting that signage up. When the signage is up, then we will make sure that we make an announcement that at that point, then that the ATV, UTV riding within the city will be allowed. We recommend for overall safety that our ATV, UTV riders, that you cross where there's a stoplight. Sometimes that won't be possible, but no matter what, crossing Highway 13, we do want you to take caution. Make sure that there's no incidences whatsoever. This is a great honor for the city. Hopefully it's going to bring in some great revenue, but all good things can be gone away if everyone doesn't follow by the rules. So we're just asking you as we open it up that we want you just to follow the rules, do the things that you know is going to not only keep others safe around you, but also keep you safe on your ATV, UTV. So a couple other things that will also be changing within the city of Adams that has to do with signs is that the downtown area of Adams will be posting a 2-hour limit on parking on Highway 13 for our businesses to make sure that we have ample parking. Also, we're opening up extra parking on a strip of land that we have in behind, it would be kind of behind the movie theater. And we will have that posted also both on Highway 13 and also on Goggin to the west. So those will be open. We also opened up a few additional parking spots over here by City Hall to accommodate the business also that's on the corner here by the City Hall. So those are some of the changes that are coming up, and we have more changes in the future, so we'll look forward to giving you some updates on those. Chief Sly?
In the month of May, I attended City Council various committee meetings to include Drug Free Adams County, or CCRT, Crisis Response Community Meeting, and I met with the Rocha Cree Recovery Center on what they have are the goals for the community. Officer Reimer attended Reed interview and interrogations in Waukesha, and confidential assistant Carol Buchanan attended open records class in Rhinelander. Calls for service and citations for the month. We responded to 186 calls for service during the month of April. Or excuse me, month of May, my bad. They issued 25 citations and 16 written warnings, and there were 2 out of the IRS. For department activities and announcements, remind with the warmer weather and a lot of people like to shoot fireworks off that anything that leaves the ground is illegal, and you can be cited for doing so. And also let's be respectful of your neighbors, not to be lighting fireworks and doing fireworks late at night to keep people up and let the dogs start barking. We also have crowds still actively enforcing property maintenance when time allows, and let's remind people to take pride in the city to make sure your lawn's mowed and garbage is picked up and keep leaves off the streets. But no longer, I'm sure Mr. Berry's going to be reminding everybody that they got to bag their bad leaves now and not put them out on the street curb. So other bad news, Officer Corey Valaquette has given his resignation from full-time back to part-time. He's accepted a full-time position in Rome, so he'll be leaving us. Actually, tomorrow will be his last shift. Full-time shift, but he's going to stay on part-time and help out when he's available working in Rome. So with that, we'll be posting for a new full-time position shortly. We'll be discussing that Wednesday. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barrett for Public Works?
2 big things. Picking up brush today, I noticed that there are a lot of leaves still out on curbs. Quite a few piles. People are actually raking them into the curb lines. I've been talking to Chief about, we do have an ordinance against placing stuff in the street like that, so I'll be working with him on that. Just want to make sure and reiterate that we pick up bag leaves every Wednesday. If you have leaves out, you need to put them in the bags until fall time, when we'll take the leaf back out again. Brush pickup is still the 1st and 3rd Mondays of every month. We pick up streets and alleys with brush. Another big thing that's coming up that Chief and I have talked about is residential property mowing. There's a lot of properties that people aren't mowing, so I'm going to be working with Chief on figuring out the best way to handle that situation to get these properties mowed. Pothole patch last week. One of the employees spent almost 4 full days with a full dump truck full of patch filling potholes. He's still not done. That's going to be ongoing for a while. We're doing what we can to get as many of them filled. Tonight, 2 of the guys are left about noon today. They're coming in at 8 o'clock tonight. With the construction company out at the wastewater plant, putting in the new influent meter. The best time to do that is at lowest flows of the day, because they're going to have to put a trash pump in to pump everything out of the one incoming tank so they can change and tear the piping apart. So they're coming in at 8 o'clock tonight. Hopefully everything goes good. They did some practice runs today with the trash pump to make sure it was going to keep up with everything. They did that during the high flow peak of the day, and everything seemed to work real good, so there shouldn't be any issues tonight. So hopefully by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, the new influent meter will be in and everything will be back up working good out there. Like the mayor said, we've got new parking right across the street here. We're going to be getting ATV signs up. And just ongoing stuff. Mowing is continuing. We're going to start ditch mowing. We're going to be working on getting lined up to do Main Street painting before the 4th of July. Once that's done, then they'll spread out and we'll determine what in the residential areas need to be painted for crosswalks and things like that. That's going to be coming up. We've got a lot of stuff coming up to do for the summer. So.
Can you remind people why there's a benefit of not having leaves in the road?
If it's in the road and we get torrential rains, those leaves and all that debris just gets washed down to the storm drains, and then it winds up plugging our storm drains up. We got to clean them, and it adds a lot of extra work, and eventually all of those leaves either wind up in the lake or the streams, and you want to try to keep that stuff out of there. So.
Thank you, Mr. Barry.
You bet.
So we'll move on to new business. Introduce, adopt resolution 2019-15R relating to compliance maintenance annual report, CMAR. And I know there's a lot of pages. If we can
I'll
get
give you
them.
that motion.
Okay, and then if there's questions or concerns of any kind, if anyone doesn't understand something, we happen to have Mr. Berry here today that he can explain to us anything you may have as far as questions.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. And vote please.
Goodhue,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Plum,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Okay, number 2 item, authorized issuance of fermented malt beverage, intoxicated liquor license, wine license, cigarette license, operator license, flea market license, and temporary special picnic Class B. All are listed.
Also move.
I'll second that.
Okay, and Janet?
Hold on.
Yes,
Just wanted
Jeff,
to make
question.
sure that the very last one on the list, is that the place across the street here? I've never heard of that business, so I was just kind of wondering.
Oh, is that it? The
I
mini
was-
market lower?
Yeah, I was wondering that too when I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's across the street.
Okay, because even when I was saying the extra parking, I couldn't name.
I couldn't tell you. I just know it doesn't sound familiar. That's the only question I had.
Okay. So Janet, the vote please.
Hanson,
Yes.
Plum,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Goodhue.
Yes.
Okay, and the next item would be approval of payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of the bills. I'll second it.
And a vote please, Janet.
Plum,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Goodhue,
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
And then we'll just motion to adjourn.
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second it.
And vote please, Janet.
Robinson,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Goodhue,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Plum.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, everyone.